In nature, there is an unspoken rule. Predators do not hunt their own kind. But for some species of snakes, that rule does not exist. They do not only hunt weaker prey, but also attack and devour their own kind. From deadly venomous snakes to specialized snake hunters like the king cobra. One precise bite, one dose of venom enough to end everything. Today, you will witness terrifying hunts where snakes become cannibals, captured on camera in the wild. Hidden among the forest leaf litter, the horned viper is a master of camouflage in the reptile world. Above its eyes are two small horns, allowing it to blend almost perfectly into its surroundings. Unlike many other snakes, it moves using a unique sideways motion called sidewinding. Most of its body is buried beneath the forest floor, leaving only its cold eyes exposed as it waits for prey to approach. When a quail unknowingly passes by, the trap is sprung instantly. A lightning-fast strike drives its fangs deep into the prey's body. The venom begins to take effect within moments. The bird quickly becomes motionless. The predator slowly swallows its catch, then silently disappears. In the quiet forest, a small mouse carefully forages among the fallen leaves. Nearby, the horned viper begins to move. Its body glides slowly across the leaf litter, making almost no sound. It stops and buries part of its body beneath the leaves, leaving only its eyes exposed to observe the prey. The mouse unknowingly moves closer. The perfect moment has arrived. The strike is instantaneous. Sharp fangs sink into the mouse, injecting venom that paralyzes the nervous system and destroys tissue. The mouse tries to escape, but within seconds it begins to stagger, then collapses. The horned viper slowly approaches its immobilized prey. Its flexible jaws expand, and it gradually swallows the mouse whole. Near a residential area, a gaboon viper slowly moves in search of prey. This environment is full of rodents, a familiar food source for this ambush predator. Unlike many active hunters, the gaboon viper relies on its highly sensitive sense of smell. Its forked tongue constantly flicks, collecting scent particles and delivering them to the Jacobson's organ to locate prey. Soon, a mouse appears. In an instant, the strike explodes. The longest fangs in the snake world sink deep into the mouse's body. The powerful venom takes effect immediately. The mouse struggles for only a few seconds before becoming paralyzed. The gaboon viper slowly opens its jaws and swallows the prey whole. After feeding, the predator quietly slithers away and disappears. An indigo snake glides close to the ground, silently closing the distance to a rat ahead. By the time the rat senses danger, nearly every escape route is gone. Indigo snakes are non-venomous. Instead, they rely on powerful jaws to control prey. This species is known for hunting many animals, from rodents and frogs to even other snakes. The bite pressure increases gradually. The prey's circulation begins to fail. The hunt ends in the quiet silence of nature. Deep in a humid tropical forest, a small poison frog quietly searches for food among fallen leaves. Its size may be small, but its body hides a terrifying defense mechanism. Many poison frogs can release toxins through their skin powerful enough to harm predators after just one contact. A snake approaches from behind, unaware of the danger ahead. Driven by hunting instinct, it lunges forward and strikes. But seconds later, everything changes. The snake begins thrashing violently, its body convulsing as toxins from the frog's skin affect its nervous system. Many frog toxins disrupt nerve signals and cause intense pain, forcing predators to lose control. Realizing its dangerous mistake, the snake releases the frog and slithers away in panic. In this scene, a massive king cobra attacks a reticulated python. With a single precise bite, it injects venom that sends the python recoiling in pain and retreating. But the king cobra, one of the rare snakes that specializes in hunting and eating other snakes, does not stop. It continues pressing forward and launches another strike. Cornered, the reticulated python fights back by wrapping its powerful body around the attacker. However, the king cobra's long and flexible neck allows it to keep biting even while being constricted. After several bites delivering potent neurotoxic venom, the python becomes disoriented and is forced to dive into the water to escape, leaving the predator behind. In this scene, a king snake is quietly searching for prey when a horned viper comes into view. As a snake hunting specialist, it immediately closes in and delivers an extremely precise bite. The horned viper attempts to fight back, but the venom quickly affects its nervous system and breathing muscles. Not wasting the opportunity, the king snake continues restraining the prey until it becomes completely motionless. Then it begins swallowing the snake from the head, the only way to avoid the prey's rough scales and sharp horn-like projections. In the humid forest, a king cobra silently searches for prey. Its forked tongue scans the air, detecting the faintest scent signals. Ahead, a toad suddenly enters its field of view. Immediately, the predator accelerates. The toad senses danger and flees with rapid jumps, trying to create distance. The chase lasts only seconds. But the king cobra moves with incredible speed. In a flash, it catches up. A precise strike ends the hunt. The toad is quickly subdued. The cobra's flexible jaws expand, and the prey is swallowed within moments. After feeding, the king cobra quietly moves on. In this hunt, a king snake moves through the bushes, actively searching for prey. Within seconds, it spots a smaller snake trying to escape. Thanks to its superior speed, the king snake quickly catches up and delivers a strong bite that injects venom. The toxin spreads rapidly, causing the prey to writhe and lose control of its body. The smaller snake struggles desperately to escape the predator's jaws, but it is hopeless. Once the resistance fades, the king snake slowly begins swallowing its prey. On the scorching desert sand, the horned viper begins to move. Its body sidewinds across the surface, minimizing contact to avoid the intense heat. On the scorching desert sand, the horned viper begins to move. Its body sidewinds across the surface, minimizing contact to avoid the intense heat. Nearby, desert lizards dart quickly across the sand, searching for food. The viper gradually buries itself beneath the sand, nearly disappearing from sight. Only its eyes and tail tip remain visible. A curious lizard approaches. In the next instant, the strike flashes like lightning. Fangs sink into the prey. Within seconds, the hunt is over. The horned viper swallows the lizard whole, then disappears once again beneath the desert sand. In this scene, a python has already been bitten by a king snake, and the neurotoxic venom is beginning to paralyze its muscles. But as soon as the attack lands on its head, the python instinctively fights back by coiling tightly around the predator, its most important survival strategy. The king snake struggles violently. Thanks to its long and flexible body, it manages to slip free from the coils and immediately delivers a final strike. This time the bite is perfectly placed. The powerful venom quickly causes the python to lose control of its body. As the python gradually becomes motionless, the king snake begins the slow process of swallowing its prey. On a dry tree branch, a chameleon stands perfectly still, trusting that its camouflage is enough to hide it from danger. But below, a venomous snake is quietly approaching. The chameleon quickly senses the threat. It opens its mouth wide, inflates its throat, and adopts a threatening posture. Snakes are extremely fast attackers, and many species can strike within just a fraction of a second. Suddenly, the attack happens. The snake's fangs pierce precisely into the prey's body, and the venom begins to spread. The chameleon tries to escape. In many snake species, venom does not kill the prey instantly, but gradually weakens the nervous system and the ability to move. But within moments, the snake locks firmly onto the prey, ending the hunt. Near the riverbank, a grass snake approaches another frog. This time, the prey senses danger. A lightning-fast strike follows. The frog struggles desperately. But the snake's backward curving teeth prevent escape. The more the frog struggles, the deeper it becomes trapped. Grass snakes can expand their bodies dramatically while swallowing prey. For this snake, the frog is simply another meal. On the damp forest floor, a small mouse searches for food among dry leaves. Nearby, a small snake begins to move slowly. Its forked tongue scans the air, detecting the scent trail of its prey. Suddenly, it strikes like an arrow, attempting to seize the mouse. The mouse panics and tries to escape, but the predator's speed and precision quickly take over. Within moments, the snake coils tightly around the mouse, restricting all movement. Venom is quickly injected. Within seconds, the mouse becomes completely motionless. The snake slowly expands its jaws and swallows the meal whole. In this scene, a red-tailed pit viper is focused on hunting a frog, completely unaware of the danger behind it. Suddenly, a coral snake darts forward like lightning and delivers a precise bite to its neck. The pit viper thrashes violently, trying to escape, but it is already too late. The coral snake's neurotoxic venom silently attacks the nervous system, weakening the prey with every passing second. Within a short time, the pit viper becomes completely motionless. The predator has now become the prey. Without hesitation, the coral snake begins swallowing its opponent from the head. In this scene, a king snake suddenly attacks a horned viper, a snake well known for its camouflage and dangerous venom. The king snake does not rely on venom. Its weapon is constriction. As soon as it closes in, it coils tightly around its opponent, each loop tightening stronger than the last. King snakes also possess a natural resistance to venom, allowing them to hunt venomous snakes without fear of retaliation. The horned viper thrashes violently, trying to bite back. But its breathing is gradually cut off under the crushing pressure. Within minutes, its body becomes motionless. The fight ends coldly as the king snake secures the prey's head and slowly begins swallowing it. In another hunt, darkness seems like an advantage for the rattlesnake. But the king snake still manages to track it down. Its extremely sensitive sense of smell allows it to follow the pheromone trails of other snakes, making hiding almost impossible. In a split second, the king snake strikes and moves in to control its opponent. The rattlesnake repeatedly dodges and tries to protect its head, the most vulnerable point. But the king snake attacks patiently. Its venom slowly paralyzes the prey's muscles. When the opportunity appears, a precise bite to the head ends the hunt. The rattlesnake collapses, and the king snake begins swallowing its prey. On the hot sands of the Galapagos Islands, a young iguana has just left its nest. Beneath the surrounding sand, racer snakes lie in ambush. They begin to close in on the prey. With a single movement, the entire group lunges into pursuit. The iguana senses danger and sprints at full speed. The snakes glide rapidly across the hot sand behind it. If even one manages to bite, the others will quickly coil around the prey, turning the chase into a deadly trap. The iguana zigzags between rocks, constantly changing direction to avoid the predator's jaws. The chase lasts only seconds. On this harsh terrain, survival depends entirely on speed and reflexes. Near a forest waterhole, a large frog rests after feeding. But in the nearby grass, a large snake quietly approaches. Sensing danger, the frog inflates its body, a defensive tactic meant to deter predators. But for a snake, it is not enough. In an instant, a precise strike lands. The snake quickly adjusts its jaws and begins swallowing the frog whole. The meal is not over. Nearby, another frog is moving. The snake approaches again, waiting for the right distance. A sudden lunge. Its jaws clamp onto the frog's leg. Despite desperate struggles, the frog gradually disappears into the predator's expanding mouth. In the wild, just a few seconds of carelessness can turn prey into the next meal. In this scene, the king cobra corners a gaboon viper with no escape route. Although the gaboon viper possesses the longest fangs in the snake world, reaching up to 5 centimeters, it is too slow to strike effectively. The king cobra repeatedly presses forward, delivering precise bites to the body of its opponent. The gaboon viper inflates its body in warning and tries to keep its head at a safe distance, because a single bite from it could paralyze the predator. But the powerful neurotoxic venom of the king cobra quickly takes effect. The gaboon viper gradually weakens, losing control of its body. When the prey is completely motionless, the king cobra begins swallowing it slowly. In damp grass near the water's edge, a small snake quietly hunts. Just a few steps away, a frog rests completely unaware of the approaching danger. In a flash, the snake lunges and grabs the frog's leg. The frog thrashes violently, trying to escape the predator's backward curving teeth. But venom has already begun to work. Many snakes possess neurotoxins that disrupt signals between the brain and muscles, quickly removing control from the prey. Even though the frog is larger, it cannot escape. The snake slowly opens its flexible jaws and begins swallowing its prey. Beneath the calm surface of a river, a large shrimp rests among rocks on the riverbed. On the bank, a water snake begins its hunt. It slips into the cool water and quietly swims along the crevices. It searches every corner beneath the surface. Its forked tongue continuously samples the water, detecting movement. Within seconds, the shrimp is located. The snake lunges, biting firmly before the prey can escape. Underwater, it quickly swallows the shrimp whole, its flexible jaws expanding to guide the prey down its throat. The hunt ends quickly. In this scene, a king snake quietly moves through the grass like an invisible assassin searching for prey. Within moments, it spots a smaller snake and launches a lightning-fast attack. The smaller snake fights desperately, even wrapping itself around the predator's head in an attempt to escape. But that cannot stop the king snake's powerful venom, which can paralyze muscles within minutes. The resistance slowly weakens and disappears entirely. Once the prey is motionless, the king snake begins swallowing it. In this encounter, the king cobra delivers a precise bite to the python's head, injecting enough venom to kill many other predators. But the python reacts almost instantly. It coils tightly around the cobra's head, using constriction pressure that can exceed 1.5 kilograms per square centimeter, enough to disrupt circulation and damage muscles. The two predators struggle violently. The venom begins to take effect, but the python's massive body and endurance allow it to hold out for quite some time. In confrontations like this, even the powerful venom of a king cobra can sometimes be overwhelmed by the python's crushing strength. On a dusty road, a dangerous confrontation unfolds. A king cobra has latched onto a monitor lizard, injecting powerful venom into its bloodstream. Caught off guard, the lizard tries to escape, but fleeing this predator is not easy. In a desperate moment, it turns and counterattacks, clamping its strong jaws onto the snake's body. The battle instantly shifts. The two reptiles coil and clash on the ground, delivering repeated bites. The cobra attempts to inject more venom, while the lizard tries to weaken its opponent. After minutes of struggle, both are severely injured. Neither backs down. A brutal battle continues. In this confrontation, the python coils tightly around the king cobra's neck in the middle of the road. The crushing pressure squeezes the airway, leaving the cobra nearly unable to breathe. The The king cobra thrashes violently, searching for a way to escape the tightening coils. But pythons can apply enormous pressure, and the more the prey struggles, the tighter the coils become. Fortunately for the cobra, its neurotoxic venom has already begun to take effect. Within seconds, the python gradually weakens and loosens its grip. Seizing the opportunity, the king cobra breaks free and quickly disappears into the grass, leaving the python slowly paralyzing behind. In this scene, a king cobra encounters a highly dangerous opponent, a krait. This snake possesses extremely powerful neurotoxic venom, and a single accurate bite can quickly paralyze its victim. A strike directly to the head sends venom rapidly through the nervous system. The king cobra, the famous snake hunter, begins to weaken as its body loses control. Within a short time, it becomes completely motionless. In a rare outcome, the king of snakes becomes the prey, and the krait begins swallowing it. A frog and a snake suddenly encounter each other on an open patch of ground. Both burst into motion in a brief chase. The frog's smooth, moist skin causes several of the snake's first bites to slip off. But it only takes one mistake. A single precise bite locks the prey in place. Many snakes do not need powerful venom. They only need to hold their prey long enough. Continuous struggling quickly drains the frog's strength. On the forest floor, a large lizard is suddenly attacked by a python. Powerful coils wrap tightly around the prey's body. But the lizard refuses to submit. It bites onto the python's jaw, trying to injure it and escape. Pythons do not rely on venom. Instead, each coil increases pressure, restricting blood flow and weakening the prey. The struggle lasts several minutes. Eventually, the python's strength prevails. The coils tighten further until the lizard becomes motionless. The predator drags the prey to a secluded spot. Then completes the hunt in silence. In this scene, a lizard moves across the ground, completely unaware it has fallen into the sights of a predator. Hidden behind it, the snake watches every movement, waiting for the perfect moment. Suddenly, the chase erupts. The lizard panics and flees, zigzagging wildly to escape. But many snakes can accelerate incredibly fast over short distances, closing the gap within seconds. The distance shrinks rapidly. With one precise lunge, The snake captures the lizard and quickly finishes the hunt. In a quiet garden, a sudden clash between a kitten and a snake breaks the silence. The snake coils tightly and strikes with lightning speed, but the kitten is even faster. Cats possess extraordinary reflexes, allowing them to dodge attacks from fast-striking snakes. Each time the snake lunges, the kitten jumps back instantly and counters with quick, precise paw strikes. The snake spreads its hood, trying to intimidate and create space to escape. But the kitten keeps circling, staying just outside the striking range. Blow after blow lands rapidly, within moments. The snake weakens under the relentless pressure. The garden falls silent again. In a barren, dusty landscape, a rattlesnake slithers cautiously. From the opposite side, a brave cat approaches, eyes locked, body low, ready to attack. A rattlesnake can launch its fangs nearly 1/3 the length of its body in a split second, making its strikes extremely unpredictable. But the cat reacts with lightning speed, dodging every strike and countering with razor-sharp swipes. Each missed attack drains the snake's energy. Cats can react in about 20 milliseconds, fast enough to evade even the quickest predators. Moments later, the rattlesnake weakens, its body covered with wounds. In another encounter, a mongoose faces a cobra, one of the most dangerous snakes in the world. The cobra rises immediately, spreading its hood and preparing for a deadly strike. The mongoose moves cautiously in circles, darting in and out to test the snake's reactions. Each time the cobra strikes, the mongoose narrowly dodges. After several tense moments, the risk becomes too high and the mongoose withdraws. On the dusty ground, a Cape cobra moves toward a squirrel's burrow, one of the places it often searches for easy prey. Instead of fleeing, the squirrel stands its ground. The cobra raises its hood and prepares to strike, its venom capable of killing small animals in minutes. But the squirrel responds with speed. It darts forward, nipping at the snake's head and tail before leaping back out of reach. Each time the cobra lunges, the squirrel reacts a split second faster, dodging by inches. The constant harassment forces the snake to keep turning and striking, slowly wearing it down. After several tense moments, the cobra abandons the attempt and slips away. A rattlesnake waits silently in ambush. The distance between it and a mouse slowly shrinks. Rattlesnakes can strike faster than the human eye can blink. The bite happens instantly. The mouse begins convulsing and running erratically. this is not just pain. Rattlesnake venom attacks both the nervous system and blood tissues simultaneously, causing the body to lose control. Within minutes, the prey's reflexes fade away. On the ground, a dwarf mongoose unexpectedly encountered a black mamba, one of the fastest and most dangerous snakes in Africa. A precise bite from this snake can deliver extremely potent neurotoxin. However, the small mongoose refused to back down. It moved swiftly, slithering from side to side, forcing the mamba to constantly monitor its position. The snake raised its head and unleashed a series of lightning-fast attacks, but each time the mongoose dodged in time. After a tense confrontation, neither side could advance further, realizing the risk was too great. The mongoose retreated. On the ground, a Siamese cat faces a snake in a tense standoff. Both move cautiously, waiting for the other to make a mistake. The snake launches lightning-fast attacks, but the cat's reflexes are even quicker. With intense focus, the cat repeatedly strikes with its claws while maintaining a safe distance. Every movement is calculated. The cat circles slowly, eyes fixed on the snake's head, while the snake coils defensively and strikes whenever it sees an opening. The tension rises with each exchange. The snake continues to fight, but its chances shrink with every passing second. On the dry plains of Africa, a black mamba and a mongoose confront each other in a tense standoff. The venom of the black mamba is among the fastest acting in the world, capable of paralyzing the nervous system within minutes. Yet the mongoose remains calm. It patiently circles, appearing and disappearing, forcing the snake to turn constantly and waste energy. Then the moment arrives. In a sudden leap, the mongoose lunges forward and bites the mamba at the back of the neck. The snake's body thrashes violently before finally becoming still. In a confrontation between a snake and a centipede, size is not always the deciding factor. Snakes have the advantage of long-distance strikes. But centipedes excel at close combat. Dozens of legs allow them to cling to the ground and change direction instantly. More importantly, they possess venomous claws capable of injecting toxins directly into prey. The neurotoxic venom of large centipedes can paralyze small snakes. At close range, agility can sometimes be more dangerous than speed. On the dry plains, a Cape cobra becomes the focus of sudden chaos. Ground squirrels rush in, chattering loudly and darting around the snake. These rodents often face cobra raids on their burrows, so driving the predator away becomes a matter of survival. The cobra raises its hood, ready to strike with venom that can quickly paralyze small animals. But the squirrels keep circling, distracting and pressuring it from every side. Then a mongoose joins the standoff. With lightning reflexes and bold movements, it forces the cobra to keep turning and defending. Outnumbered and under constant pressure, the cobra retreats into the grass. On an open field, a red-tailed hawk suddenly dives from the sky and seizes a large rat snake. The attack is extremely precise. Curved talons clamp tightly just behind the snake's head, the safest place to control it. The snake thrashes violently, twisting its body in a desperate attempt to escape. But the hawk's talons are designed to hold struggling prey, making resistance nearly useless. Realizing the snake is too large to handle on the ground, the hawk tightens its grip and lifts off, carrying the prey away from the field. Among dry tree roots, a coral snake suddenly becomes trapped. Its body is pinned and cannot move freely. A large centipede approaches from the side. Using its modified front legs, called forcipules, the centipede injects venom directly into the snake. The coral snake struggles but cannot escape its trapped position. The venom attacks both soft tissues and the nervous system. In the chain of survival, a single positional mistake can turn a hunter into prey. A rattlesnake lies stretched across the warm ground, soaking up the sun and unaware it's being watched. High above, an eagle circles patiently, with eyesight sharp enough to spot small prey from hundreds of meters away. It studies the dangerous target below. Both are deadly predators. The rattlesnake's venomous fangs can kill with a single strike. But the eagle waits for the perfect moment. Then it dives. In a split second, powerful talons slam down, pinning the snake before it can coil and strike. The sudden impact leaves the snake limp. Just like that, the fight is over. In this video, a snake coils tightly around its prey, trying to finish the hunt. But suddenly, the situation changes. From the ground below, an army of ants swarms over the scene. These aren't harmless insects. They are aggressive colonial hunters. They bite relentlessly and spray formic acid, causing intense irritation to anything they attack. The snake thrashes and twists, struggling to hold onto its catch while the ants crawl over its body, turning the ground into a moving carpet of tiny attackers. Finally, overwhelmed by the constant bites and burning acid, The snake releases its prey and retreats. Near a nest on dry ground, a cobra quietly approaches. Eggs and chicks are easy meals for many snakes. But this time, the cobra faces a mother hen guarding her nest. Immediately, the hen spreads her wings and fluffs her feathers. In many bird species, the instinct to protect offspring can overcome natural fear. Each time the cobra approaches, the hen lunges forward and pecks aggressively. The confrontation grows tense. Eventually, the cobra retreats. Sometimes, in nature, the courage of a mother is enough to repel even a dangerous predator. In another moment, a python slithers across the ground, but it makes a fatal mistake by crossing directly over an ant nest. The ants react instantly. Within seconds, hundreds swarm over the snake's body, biting relentlessly. Many predatory ant species attack in large numbers, overwhelming animals far bigger than themselves. The python thrashes violently, trying to escape. But the ants continue climbing over its body, attacking every exposed spot. The python attempts to flee, yet under the relentless assault it quickly weakens. Eventually, the giant predator collapses, becoming food for the tiny army, leaving only a white skeleton on the dry ground. The pack of wild dogs begins the pursuit across the dry savanna. The wildebeest try to maintain formation, but speed and panic slowly break their structure apart. African wild dogs are famous for their endurance, capable of maintaining speeds close to 50 kilometers per hour for long periods. They do not need to attack immediately. They only need to exhaust their prey. Gradually, several wildebeest become separated from the herd. The pack splits into smaller groups, locking onto the weaker individuals. But the isolated wildebeest is about to face an even greater danger. On a nearby grassland, a herd of wildebeest suddenly confronts a pack of African wild dogs. The leading bulls immediately charge forward, using their curved horns to strike at the predators closing in. A wildebeest can weigh over 250 kilograms, and its powerful curved horns are capable of inflicting serious injuries on predators. When threatened, they often form a defensive circle, standing together to protect the weaker members of the herd. The herd fights back fiercely, forcing the wild dogs to scatter. But the defense cannot last forever. Eventually, the herd breaks and begins to run, and the real chase begins. Under the scorching savanna sun, a massive African buffalo is surrounded by a pack of wild dogs. Deep wounds across its body reveal that the chase has lasted for a long time, and the heavy animal is beginning to lose strength. African buffalo can weigh nearly a ton, and even lions usually hunt them in groups. But wild dogs rely not on power, they rely on endurance. The buffalo attempts to fight back, lowering its head and spinning to face the attackers. But as dozens of bites accumulate, its strength finally gives out. The buffalo collapses and becomes food for the entire pack.
I've got so many pictures.
Sometimes, the persistence of a group is stronger than the power of a giant individual.
I've got so many pictures. I've got so many pictures.
A young buck follows fresh tracks in the mud and walks down toward the riverbank. It has no idea that this area lies within the hunting territory of a pack of wild dogs. Within seconds, one dog approaches from behind and bites the animal's hind leg. Their usual strategy is to latch on and drag the prey until it weakens. The ears of a buck contain a sensitive balance system that helps maintain stability. But a strong pull on the ear can disorient the animal completely. Right on that riverbank, brutal hunts continue to unfold. The final wildebeest is surrounded from every direction by the pack. This time, the pack's strategy of separating the herd has worked perfectly. On the savanna, a wildebeest cut off from its herd has almost no chance of survival against a pack of wild dogs. Its only weapons are speed and its sharp, curved horns. In desperation, it charges directly at the predators. But the pack refuses to give up. They attack in turns, slowly draining the animal's strength. Eventually, the wildebeest collapses, a harsh reminder of the power of teamwork in the wild. Near the water's edge, a male buck is spotted by the pack of wild dogs. It lowers its horns, trying to maintain distance from the predators closing in from all sides. The horns of a male buck can break bones if they strike directly. So the wild dogs avoid a direct attack. Instead, they circle constantly, trying to destabilize the prey. But the place where the buck stands hides another danger. From beneath the water, a crocodile suddenly emerges. In an instant, it clamps down on the animal's body. For the first time, the wild dogs lose their prey right before their eyes. Hunger has made the pack of wild dogs even more daring. Their target this time is a solitary African buffalo. Buffalo are among the most dangerous animals on the savanna, armed with massive curved horns. An adult buffalo can weigh nearly 1 ton. But its weakness is speed, far lower than that of the wild dogs. The pack begins surrounding the buffalo and attacking from multiple directions, slowly, exhausting it. Eventually, the unfortunate buffalo collapses. Once again, even immense individual strength cannot overcome the strategy of the pack. African wild dogs are the most efficient predators on the continent, with hunting success rates exceeding 80% thanks to their tight pack coordination. Unlike many predators, they rely more on endurance than strength and can chase prey for kilometers. But the lioness remains calm. A single loud roar and a few aggressive steps are enough to make the pack hesitate. Eventually, the dogs retreat. But this encounter is only the beginning. As expected, the next opponent for the wild dogs is the hyena, the master scavenger of the savanna. Hyenas are also highly effective pack hunters, but this time, only a few individuals are present. The wild dogs quickly close in, attacking from multiple directions. Hyenas possess extremely powerful jaws, capable of crushing large bones to reach the marrow inside. But when their numbers are too small, that advantage disappears. Realizing they are outnumbered, the hyenas retreat and wait for another chance to steal a meal. On the savanna, warthogs are a common target for wild dog packs. They use a tactic of forcing the prey out of its burrow, repeatedly biting and pressuring the warthog until it is forced onto open ground. Warthogs can fight back with powerful charges using their sharp, curved tusks. But when facing a coordinated pack of predators, a single individual has almost no chance. Wild dogs can maintain speeds close to 50 kilometers per hour for several minutes, quickly exhausting their prey. Once surrounded, the warthog's fate is almost inevitable. But the pack's hunt is far from over. After being threatened twice, the wild dogs decide to strike first. They begin targeting hyenas that wander alone across the savanna. Wild dogs are famous for their relentless group attacks, especially when they have numerical advantage. Meanwhile, hyenas, despite their strong jaws and tough bodies, rely heavily on the support of their clan. A lone hyena can only growl and threaten to avoid direct conflict. But the wild dogs continue to close in. The rivalry between these two infamous predators of the savanna seems to have no end. Still near the same river, another antelope struggles to cross the muddy bank. But the familiar snarls of the wild dog pack echo around it. African wild dogs have a hunting success rate of nearly 80%, one of the highest in nature. But this time, another predator appears. A large clan of hyenas rushes in and takes control of the hunt. The antelope fights desperately. But the powerful jaws of the hyenas quickly weaken the prey. They drag the carcass onto the bank. After several failed attempts earlier, the hyenas finally reclaim their dominance on the savanna. Not long afterward, the confrontation continues on the plains of the Masai Mara. This time, the hyena clan returns in greater numbers, targeting the wild dog's fresh kill. African wild dogs almost never share their prey, leaving only two options: fight or flee. They immediately spread out and charge toward the hyenas to defend their meal. In the chaos, a young hyena suffers several painful bites. The hyenas eventually retreat, leaving the carcass behind. This encounter may determine who truly controls this part of the savanna. The wild dog pack has overwhelming numbers. Two unfortunate hyenas are surrounded in seconds. The dog's strategy is simple separate opponents and attack them one by one. Even though hyenas are stronger individually, once separated, they cannot fight off an entire pack. The attack happens in a flash. In the end, the two hyenas are forced to flee, leaving the battlefield to the wild dogs. Once again, numbers prove to be one of nature's most powerful weapons. As the lioness turns away, the wild dogs follow again, closing in from behind. They attack in waves, running in arcs before lunging toward the lion's flanks, a familiar tactic used to exhaust prey. Wild dogs usually hunt in groups of 10 to 20 individuals, because a single dog cannot face a larger predator like a lion. But the lion understands their weakness pack morale. Suddenly, it charges directly at one of them. If even one member is severely injured, the entire pack becomes unstable. Realizing the risk, the wild dogs finally abandon the attack. In the world of snakes, the line between predator and prey almost does not exist. Even their own kind can become the target. It is not cruelty. It is survival instinct. And in nature, When hunger takes over, no rules remain.